Hey guys, Pixel here. Just wanted to let you know, in the event you want to try and start your own podcast, Anchor FM is the way to go. It has the creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It has everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, but many more as well. Ultimately, it is free, so it's no cost to you. So go ahead and download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
All right, and welcome to another episode of Two Guys, One Level. I'm your host, Tortuga, accompanied by Pixel.
Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome. And we have with us today a very special guest, Riss. If you don't mind, just go ahead and just introducing yourself to our listeners.
Hey guys, thank you so much for having me on the episode today. Hi everyone, I'm Riss. I am a professional artist and designer, and I am the owner of tcpeachstudios.com. I love to create all sorts of adorable accessories, plush toys, and so much more. And I really enjoy talking about artwork, playing video games on my Twitch, as well as creating a sense of community among those that enjoy my work.
Awesome. Thank you. You really have that elevator pitch down to a T, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
I know that's one of the things that when you own your own business is master your elevator pitch, and I feel like you nailed it.
Thank you very much.
How long, when, let's start off with how you started off with the whole designing and creating your own product line.
Yeah, so it started when I was 10, actually. It's a little bit of a long story. But yeah, when I was 10 years old, I knew what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. Plush toys and things like Hello Kitty really made my days and my childhood brighter. And I wanted to set out to be the person that would bring that to somebody else. I wanted to draw, I wanted to create, I wanted to make stuffed animals. And so fast forward to high school, I was learning how to draw. I was teaching myself, and I started doing anime cons, doing just an artist alley here and there for fun. And oddly enough, my first anime con is where I met my future husband. We spent a couple years starting this business, just going from here and there, odd jobs. I was a waitress for years. And one day, I just decided that this is what I wanted to do full time. He told me to quit my job, and we started going on the road. 30 weeks out of the year, we were at a show, and we just built from there.
That's insane. Is he single? I mean, I want someone to just tell me to quit my job.
No, I locked him down real quick. So
I guess. So I mean, it's definitely not every day that someone gets that kind of opportunity, and then to really kind of turn it. So we mainly we're going to talk about here about Twitch and how your journey came from there. But it looks like really Tasty Peach Studios with the plushies is really how you kind of kickstarted everything. Is that correct?
Yes, it absolutely is. I've been doing this for 10 years this past August. And it's been my full-time job for 8 out of those 10 years. And it's really what, got me on the road to wanting to do content creation outside of just drawing or producing artwork for social media platforms. I was watching another streamer, Ms. Kylie, and she's a fantastic streamer. And I very much lurked hardcore. I was not very talkative. I wouldn't really say anything, but she inspired me to start streaming. And so for the last 3.5 years, I've been streaming. And luckily enough, last week on Wednesday, I was officially partnered.
Yes, that's actually. I definitely have seen you pop up on my Twitter, probably for the last couple months or so. And it's actually funny because when I saw the partner notification, it was like, you know what, this is going to be it. A lot of people that I've tried to reach out to either have been partnered or haven't yet, or just hit their affiliate. So I would like to get into what was that like? What was that journey from starting that stream to affiliate to now partner? What was that like for you?
It was a mixture of excitement and very deep depression. And I say that because realistically, everybody wants to attain partnership. Everybody
Mhm.
wants to
Right.
get that beautiful check mark next to their name. And what I think people don't realize is that there's so much more that goes into partnership than just showing up on your stream and telling people you're live and hoping for a raid. There's a
Right.
lot of planning, there's a lot of struggle, there's a lot of learning. And what most people also don't realize is that you cannot depend on other people to get you there.
Yep.
So
I
for
think that's
me,
a big one that
mhm.
people do fail to realize, that it really isn't just about showing up. There is just so much more associated with it.
Yes, there absolutely is. But honestly, a big part of what I feel really got me to this point was my sense of community. We call our community members the Peachy Pack, and we're really proud of them. They're wonderful individuals, and over the last 8 months specifically, because of COVID and everything else going on, we've gotten to be a lot closer than I feel a lot of communities get a chance to do. I mean, I have my morning coffee at my desk with my subscribers, and I talk with
Wow.
them every morning for at least 45 minutes, just typing away on Discord. I think that a sense of community and really letting people know that they are valued and that they are loved beyond what their dollar brings is what truly elevates somebody's stream and somebody's community.
I've definitely noticed that a lot, even in just streamers that I follow. Not to take anything away from the more extremely successful streamers with the tens of thousands of viewers, but it's honestly just virtually impossible for them to communicate with everybody. But you do see a lot more with people who have maybe in the hundreds, low thousands of views. I feel like they have a much easier time to build that foundation. Whether it's with their current high level viewers or the people that have been supporting them since the beginning, essentially.
Yes, absolutely. And and it's not a knock against anybody, like you were saying, that have those high numbers, the high viewership. Um, it's impossible to ask anybody to keep a level of conversation with that many people. It's nearly impossible.
Right.
But for those that are able to have a connection, especially in, like you were saying, the low thousands to hundreds, it's very viable. It's a wonderful way to really connect. And I started really utilizing community even when I had 15, 20 people just hanging out with me. Um, I created inside jokes. I found out what their favorite colors were, their favorite foods. We would talk about anything and everything under the sun. And those small handful of people I got really close to are the people that are my founder, subscribers, or half of them are my moderation team now. So utilizing your community and really connecting with people, I feel is a huge part of that journey.
No, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Now, how do you incorporate the non-gaming portion, right? So we'll take, Tasty Peach Studios from the design or like ideas. How do you bring that over to Twitch?
So I identify as a variety streamer. So I typically have a focus on art. How I will go ahead and do things is I always spend my first 45 minutes to an hour and a half just talking with my community, talking about, the new things going on, new projects. Luckily, a good portion of the individuals that enjoy my stream also enjoy my artwork and have come over from other platforms to watch me draw live or to talk about new projects or to see new plush toys. So, getting into the art portion was very easy for me. I felt that it was a great way to teach as well. A lot of people ask me how to manufacture, questions about starting their own brand. People will ask me questions that are everything to how did you get started to how can I do this full time? And so I love to take the time while I'm drawing and while I'm creating new pieces to really explain my process. I give miniature tutorials on things that people ask questions about. I'm always open and honest about my struggles with my business and with my skill level. And I always love to encourage other creators to share their work. When another artist raids our stream, I always ask them to go ahead and share their portfolio with us so we can view it on stream together. And I'm getting ready to start critique days in which subscribers that would like to submit their artwork can get a live critique and I can show them where they can improve.
That's awesome. That's really cool. I have a kind of follow-up question with that. Has your Twitch chat or community have ever created something with you live, like, make this change, do this color or anything like that?
All the time. We love to call them our brainstorm sessions, and we just talk together. In fact, all the emotes that I sketched out this evening during stream were all based on inside jokes, things that we had talked about together, suggestions from the chat. And of course, whenever I'm creating plush toys, I love to design the characters live when I'm streaming. And they'll be like, oh, well, what if you do one of, and then they'll name one of my characters, like let's say Grumpy Sheep. Oh, okay, well, what kind of pose would he be in? And then they would give me ideas. Oh,
that is really awesome.
That is really awesome. I might have to jump in there because I can't make a straight line with a ruler. So we're going to have to... I'm gonna have to take some pointers myself. I actually was able to take a look at, before we jumped on here, at some of your older videos on where you were kind of just chatting with people, a couple of unboxing, and I actually had a question on those. So did you create those Funko yourself? Do you have like an actual partnership with Funko?
I do. I'm actually officially licensed by Funko. They licensed my entire brand, and I'm extremely excited because we got to officially unbox them and announce them yesterday. So it was really cool.
Well, congratulations on that. That is fantastic. I love those things.
Thank you.
So, and don't worry about it. We're definitely going to link all of this for everybody. But you guys should definitely check it out. What impresses me, and again, it's probably because I have the artistic capabilities of my dog. Okay, I'm just terrible at it. But like the emotes, like what inspires you, or like how do you come up with the ideas for those?
A lot of the time when it comes to emotes, it's a joint effort between me and my chat. So we'll think of something funny and then I'll just start gesture drawing. I'll very loosely sketch out like where the face is going to go and maybe where the hands, the arms are going to be positioned or maybe an expression. And then from there, it just kind of takes a life of its own. I found out that going into art with a solid plan is not necessarily how you get to your end result. So for me, taking the time to brainstorm and to kind of change things on the fly is really paramount to how I personally design and create. It's much more of a living, fluid motion than it is a concrete concept.
That'll do it. I mean, I get it. Like I said, like I used to, I guess, do kind of like freehand poems and words I'm okay with.
Hey, me too. I didn't know that about you.
Yeah, I've actually, no one will ever hear these, but I've actually done just a couple of like sample, just like songs or whatever.
Hey, me too. Why are we this similar?
That's sounds wonderful.
I mean, it's great fun. Like, I never aspired to be anything like a rapper, an artist, or anything like that. I really just did it because the opportunity was just there. Like I said, literally no one will ever listen to these. So, but so like I said, the words I'm all right with. But when it comes to like art, I'm always just amazed, and I think that's why I like shows like Avatar: The Last Airbender, or like animes and things like that. The Castlevania on Netflix, the
Oh,
recently
yeah.
released Blood of Zeus, like just a different animations going from maybe not as gory to like the gorier and just a different styles. And I think it's always because I've always wanted to just be able to do it myself, but I'll just admire it from afar. I'm okay with that.
I guarantee you hang out in my stream enough and I'll show you a few things that might help.
You probably would. I mean, I'm like I said, I have those video on demands there. Like I scoured a good chunk of them for you. Like the one that I saw kind of beginning to end was when you were creating that potato emote.
Oh
Is that
gosh.
right? Is that what it is? Kind of like,
Yes.
yep. So
Yep.
I felt that on a spiritual level. Okay,
Oh,
just to be cradled by like a baked potato. Like, I am ready.
oh, that was such a, oh gosh. And that was again my chat. So I always have I have a joke that I am a potato princess and that I am a carb queen because I love potatoes. And so I was thinking of what would be fun. Well, what if I was snuggled in a tater tot shaped sleeping bag? And then chat just kind of ran with it. We started just kind of giggling. I sketched it out really fast. And then the entire stream turned on itself and I spent the rest of the night working on that just on and off while I was laughing because this is just what happens. Chat comes up with a silly idea, or I come up with a silly idea, and then we just turn it into something together.
That's actually awesome.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, Tortuga and I are actually working on that, I guess, from the podcast perspective as well. It's definitely something that we would love to have a more open communication, with our listeners, as we, hope to grow ourselves. Our avenues of communication are always open for our listeners. So I really hope you guys know that we're sincere about that. But to see this level of, I guess, camaraderie, or viewer and community, right? Just literally just the community there, and from such an array. We're talking about where she goes. She's putting out ideas. She's really putting out what she's working on. She does these things live. From I saw Among Us there, creating these emotes. And one that I actually want to hear more from you is actually a Genshin Impact. From a game perspective and an art perspective, what are your thoughts on that?
Oh my goodness. So Genshin Impact is probably one of the most visually stunning games that I have seen in quite some time. Um, I really love the open world. I love it from a gamer aspect of just being able to run around and explore. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little addicted to pulling cards. I gotta get the Gashpon under control. But luckily, I haven't wailed. I've been
Yeah,
I've been very good with my Primogem.
well,
But
that's good, because I was like that with Smite and Overwatch for a while, so I understand.
oh yeah,
Really?
same.
Is that why you hated for Overwatch so much?
Oh
No, I love me Overwatch. I still love Overwatch.
No. The system, the looting system.
So, Riss, you were saying that so that's part of it. Absolutely. I was a user and abuser, and I got to the core of it. I wanted to see how it was. Blizzard, get it together.
Oh god! All right, you know what? Now your arguments make a lot more sense to me right now.
Yeah, God, bro. I don't talk just to talk.
Okay. Well, I just don't see a problem with the looting system because paying for stuff is optional. As long as they have an in-game system, then it's okay with me. But now knowing that Pixel put in a good chunk and did not get that one legendary skin he was going after, it all makes sense to me now.
So I want to say I probably put in about 200.
That's a good chunk.
Ooh, that is a good chunk.
I've put way more into Smite. Probably about half of what you put into League.
Yeah. I haven't put a dime into League in a while. Yeah. So League of Legends I started back in 2012. That sounds right. And yeah, since then I probably put in about $1,000 into League, but that's in a span of like 8 years. So
yeah, mine's like 5. So
yes, I like to think that it's not too bad.
It's not terrible.
are you saying it to justify yours or because you really agree?
Okay, so to be fair, luckily, I had a few very generous tip donations to be able to get some Genshin pulls. Thanks to a couple of longtime viewers.
Nice.
But I myself didn't really put a whole lot in personally. I think I put about $75 in personally myself. But I got extremely lucky with my pulls. I did a back-to-back Diluc during the first week it was out. I was very lucky.
All right, no, that's good. The probably the formulas behind them were probably a lot more generous to get more people to get more. I mean, I'm assuming from a marketing perspective. Honestly, all I want to do is put Tortuga's face everywhere so people could just donate left and right. But he doesn't want me to.
Works.
I'm telling you, that's how it would work if you would just let me put you up on a pedestal somewhere.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. So back to the drawing stuff. I actually had an interesting question. How do you handle creator's block whenever that hits you, if it hits you?
So it does. So most people don't know that I suffer from extreme ADHD and I have depressive tendencies. I talk about it in chat a lot. It's not something I'm ashamed of. It's something that I've actually worked past. But it does creep up from time to time. So when things get tough for me and I have a hard time focusing, or my brain is going a mile a minute, or I don't feel inspired to work, I typically have a backlog of sketch ideas that I can just ink or color and set up to put together for products. So I don't necessarily have to spend that time racking my brain for fresh ideas. That's another big reason why having these sketch sessions are so important for me, because having a backlog means that I can always be productive even when I'm not inspired.
Smart.
That is very smart.
I can't say that I'm the one that came up with it. my husband, oddly enough, is the one that came up with the backlog system, and it has surprisingly been the best idea yet.
Well,
awesome.
you gotta think of it this way. Ideas are just part of it. Execution means just as much as the actual thought process.
Mm-hmm.
So for you being able to continuously keep up with that, especially with someone like you mentioned has that ADHD, that can't be easy to not be consistent when it comes to what is considered your livelihood. This is how you survive. This is how you live. So I mean, you can't. That's definitely not something you could just knock away. You should definitely be proud of that.
Yes. Oh, I am. I am absolutely proud of it. It's taken a lot of years to really break through that. But now that I have a solid system, it just goes to show that even if people suffer from ADHD, have depressive tendencies, are suffering through any sort of ailment, mentally or physically, if you're passionate, you can do anything you set your mind to.
Yeah, I actually have to thank Tortuga for that, because he's pretty much the reason that I'm here like every week. This is something that we're able to do together. I don't know what you've listened or what you guys communicated, but we are cousins from his mom's side, my dad's side, and we ended up so similar that we just vibe so well together. But for him to be carrying this podcast. Like I'm really not joking when I say that, when you guys listening out there, Tortuga just does so much for the channel. So really a big props to him, that he's able to provide that motivation and just that back and forth with each other that makes us makes me specifically want to come out and just provide the content for you guys. So biggest advice that I can get from this is just do it.
Yes. That is
All right.
amazing.
I'm gonna have to bleep that out because Nike's gonna take royalties from this episode.
Wow.
But
Uh-oh.
no, man. That's super sweet and also false. Let's just, clear that up real fast.
Here we go.
You opened up a can of worms.
I don't feel like I do that much. All I do is the technical stuff. Steven's the people guy. Because I have what I'm going through, social anxiety, which I'm working to get better about. But yeah, speaking to people that I don't know is a difficult challenge, a difficult mental challenge that I go through and I try to fight, which is odd because I have to talk to people all day, every day for work. And yeah, it's a daily struggle. So, Steven slash, I was going to say Steven slash Pixel picking up those pieces and make the technical stuff not a challenge at all. And it's the stuff that I do on my 9 to 5 that I bring over to my voice is cracking. You got me emotional.
Here we go.
Well, yeah, bringing the stuff.
As far as I talk to people day in and day out as well. Many people. And I guess with everything with COVID, I was tired of talking to the lamp, and the lamp started talking back. So at least this way, I'm able to actually communicate and bring people like Riz onto the podcast because there's so much talent out there. Just taking a look at her channel, it is honestly mind blowing that someone can do so much and so fantastic. Like I'm telling you, if you guys, everything will be linked. You got to check out her channel and just see the sheer talent. And I actually had a question on these emails. What program do you use when you're drawing here?
So I am proficient with Photoshop. Oddly enough, a lot of people in the industry are more inclined to use Illustrator. However, it is a mortal enemy of mine. It is only good for live trace, and that is it. And don't at me. Yes, Photoshop is my drawing method of choice. And along with that, a lot of people ask me about my equipment. So I actually don't use a screened tablet. I use a Wacom Intuos Pro 6. And it's just standard tablet. I have to stare at the screen while my hands doing the other things. So nice. Nothing super fancy, but Photoshop, basic brushes, and a Wacom, and that's how I create.
Well, like I said, I'm when I was taking a look at it, these are real high quality images that I'm seeing here.
Thank you.
Now,
yeah, you're definitely killing it. I'm just gonna put it out there.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
And yeah, definitely listen to Tortuga because he has he definitely has the eye for things like that. He actually was working with someone to create our logo, and I'm pretty sure he can count the pixels.
I do like to think I have some kind of creative eye because I have photography as a hobby that I dive into. Yeah.
Yes, I love photography.
My page somewhere, but I tend to do more like nature night photography, which I love. People I can't do yet because the social anxiety thing fights back, and talking to people to do things not in my cards at the moment. So landscape, buildings, bridges, that kind of stuff. I can talk to bridges and buildings, no problem.
It's funny that you mentioned social anxiety because most people, when they talk with me or see me, have no idea that I used to have crippling social anxiety. It used to keep me from talking to anybody at any point in time. I was the wallflower at school, the quiet girl in the corner with her nose in a sketchbook. And oddly enough, being forced out of my comfort zone and working retail and a waitress job, and learning how to learning how to turn my personality up to an 11 really
Nice.
got me into a comfort zone to where they see what I want them to see, and that made me comfortable. Sometimes being uncomfortable can force you to feel comfortable when you know you have control. So maybe that can help you just a little bit. You never know.
Maybe. I mean, a little bit of background on me. It's not public or anywhere. I don't even think I've ever mentioned it on the podcast, but I do have a military background. I
Mhm.
did 6 years, basically right after high school.
Thank you for
And
your service.
oh, thank you. And I technically recently got out 2015. So all of that stuff didn't really kick in until after separation. So there's
Mm.
a term called post separation disorder,
Oh.
where the change is so drastic that these kind of things just pop up. So I'm assuming that's the root cause. I've yet to see a specialist to just go over that. That's the next step on this whole journey. But
Mhm.
I too had the crippling anxiety for the first 3 years afterwards. I was just, no one heard from me, zero people.
Oh
So
man.
yeah, it was bad.
I'm sorry you
But
went through that.
I mean, it's a journey. Thank you. It's been a journey, but crawling out of it, trying to shine and break through, and hopefully I can find my 11 sometime soon, because podcasting is fun and interacting with new people every week and such. I'm loving it, so it's definitely helpful. And I'm gonna just throw in this in Pixel's faces because of him that I'm able to get through all of this.
Why are you like this? Why are you like this? Who hurt you? What did I
I
do to
don't
you?
know. You two are just so wholesome. I'm just sitting here smiling like a loon.
um, yeah, so I think a large part of why we are the way we are, really trying to, like, I guess, get personal here tonight, is that for coming from a Hispanic background, there's a lot of pride with just within the culture, and one of the biggest things that they did is that they would always pit us against each other to be better than the other. So it really wasn't until, what would you say, preteen, teen years, that we actually had a discussion on our own about what our parents would say about the other. And all my life, Tortuga this, Tortuga that. Oh, he's in the top school in Jersey. What are you doing? It's like, and turns out that his mom used to do the same thing about me. So I'm pretty sure, without wanting to, we probably hated each other for a little bit, till we actually sat down and talked to each other, and it was like, hold up, they said what?
Oh goodness.
So I think from there, I mean, we did, probably gonna copyright strike with this, but we did a couple of winter emus together, and gaming really connected us. He still makes fun of me because we would play World of Warcraft together. We started with Ratchet the Lich King very casually.
Nice.
Yeah. So, but I was playing on a laptop with a touchpad and I was tanking for him. And apparently that's a good thing. I don't know. I don't know what he talks about there.
Yeah, having any kind of mechanic on a trackpad is God mode. I'm not even going to jump into it. Yeah, but I do remember that.
So, and then just gaming really just brought us together. I haven't in a while, just because life, but we both do stream. We actually want to probably get back in. Like, we're both on Twitch, and then we want to take the actual YouTube for Two Guys on Level, so we can probably alternate streaming on that as
Mhm.
well.
Oh, that's amazing. I would love to follow you guys, honestly.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. Now, what I mean, so I know you play Genshin Impact. I know you play Among Us. Is there anything that you play potentially off stream?
Oh goodness. So off stream, additionally also on stream, I do sometimes play Final Fantasy 14 online. I do play a lot of it off stream just because there's a lot of things that I enjoy doing, such as mount collecting or just glamour, gathering classes, not necessarily a lot of the fun stuff that people would want to see or take part of. Um, then if I'm playing anything else, I really love this just beautiful, adorable game called Bunny Park. Um, it's done by an indie designer. Um, it's absolutely fantastic. She did all of it herself. And when when I was first seeing images of Bunny Park, it's on Steam. It's a $5 game. Um, I retweeted the pictures. I thought it was super cute. I really wanted to buy it when I got my next payout. And she just sent me a game code. I was super excited. And so what I
That
did
is
was
a
I
dream.
bought it was so cool. It was the first time I had ever been sent like an actual game code. So I turned around and I bought 5 copies of it and I gave them away on stream while I was playing Bunny Park. And it was a lot of fun. It was just a really relaxed like session to play on stream and off stream. I actually did a lot of my gameplay through streaming on Discord just to my community privately. Um, but yeah, outside of that, I do play things like I love Pokemon. I love playing Breath of the Wild. It's another one of my big favorites. And then outside of that, Skyrim is a big love for me. I may draw cute, adorable things, but I love to go hack and slash some monsters and find me some dragons.
Then do you mod the game? I know that's popular in the Skyrim world, I guess.
I actually don't. What's funny is that my community had asked me to do a mod at some point, so I am going to be doing some modding for I think it's a unicorn mount is what they were wanting.
Okay.
So I have to find the unicorn mount, and we're gonna try to see if I can summon 50 of them at the same time, and see if it breaks my game or not.
Honestly, I'm pretty sure that's the motto behind it. Mod it till you break it.
It's true.
Now, I did have a question. I was definitely just scrolling back on your Instagram here as we're talking. I found this image, Plush Ultra. That is definitely a play on words from Plus Ultra from My Hero Academia, which I absolutely adore. Is that anywhere in your store? Because
Yes. It is. It's actually my Streamlabs merch store. That was another one of those things, just like the tater tot.
Okay.
We just came up with something silly. I don't even remember how it started. I was drawing a picture of my dragon, Mr. Nibbles, and he's a stray mascot. Um, and then I said, you know what? I wonder what this would look like if I just drew a cute like Meowchi had. So I drew my quick little like cat face on it and this big muscles, and I'm just like, oh my lord. And everybody was just laughing and they were having a fun time. And so I said, no, we're turning this into a t-shirt, guys. And so I spent the rest of the stream turning it into a t-shirt design. And that is how Plush Ultra is born.
I'm more of a hoodie person myself, but that shirt definitely sounds like a good time. And another thing that I was gonna hear, how would you classify, I guess, your art style?
So I have kind of my own way of doing Japanese minimalistic style. So it's not quite fully minimalistic, but it's not exactly detailed.
Right.
I meet somewhere in the middle. It's like a marriage between full scale detailed anime artwork and doing something as simple as a circle with eyes.
I you know what, whatever works. Only because I was getting kind of chibi vibes, and then
Yes.
I saw your chibi Sailor Moon, and I was like, okay, or chibi ish, right? Because it's not exactly. Yeah. So, yeah. Look, I for someone who has, like I said, I'm not artistic at all. I am like in awe. You guys got to check out her stuff. And again, we're linked like all her social media and everything on here. So no worries on that. Now, I know you mentioned the mount collecting in Final Fantasy 14. Don't even worry about that. I spent much longer than I'd care to admit in World of Warcraft to get this flying cloud mount from the Mist of Pandaria expansion, and I used that one. And then that one Christmas, Tortuga and I actually gifted each other a mount without the other one knowing. And it was the exact same mount. It was like the undead nightmare, with like a special mount.
Oh
Um,
yes.
yeah, so
Sorry.
no, it's fine. So we actually ended up gifting that to each other one Christmas, and just completely surprising the other.
That's amazing. No, I was a mount and minion collector when I played World of Warcraft. I actually just recently restarted playing Classic because I never played Classic. I started at the end of Burning Crusade, going right into Lich King. So I
Mm.
played just for those, for about 8 to 10 months before I decided that I'm too busy to play games even casually right now.
Yeah, WoW
So
is not the best game for casual gaming.
it's
It is
not.
not.
It's too addicting. It really is, but it's so much fun.
It is. It is. I started up again with the announcement for Shadowlands, and let me tell you,
Mm.
it's been so much fun just trying to relearn how to play the game. I used to in World of Draenor. I was in Mythic Rating, which was amazing, so much fun, and now I'm trying to see if I can get back into it with Shadowlands. So fingers crossed.
Oh, extra cost. That sounds like so much fun. Yeah, I love doing raid tiers. I never raided in WoW, but Final Fantasy 14, I did actually quite a bit of the Savage tier raids in multiple expansions. It's a lot of fun.
I don't play Final Fantasy. What level would that be compared to WoW? Normal, heroic, mythic?
Oh gosh. Trying to think of what it would even be. It's not nearly it's not the toughest content because they do have some of the most like tough content that's
Mhm.
only the best of the best really get into, or people that want to bang their face against their keyboard constantly, which I am not part of. I would say it's somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
It requires a lot of attention. It requires learning patterns and repetition and knowing
Right.
rotation. But of course,
Mhm.
you're not so bound to it to the point where it is unbeatable.
Gotcha. So to me, I can compare. I think that sounds more like heroic level in WoW.
I would say
Mm-hmm.
so, yeah, because I never actually did any rating in WoW, so I'm
Okay.
not very familiar with the terminology. So
Mhm.
I do apologize.
No big. I'm just trying to combine those two just to see where it's
Yes.
at. But yeah, it's true. It reminds me of the Mythic days. Like you said, if you don't do the sequence perfect, if it's not perfect, then though it's a raid wipe. You have you have to
Yep.
rely on you
Yep.
plus the rest of your raid to do everything
I
just right.
don't think you and I ever did Mythic. I could be wrong because I think I was only missing like two pieces in Draenor. So,
I
but
don't think we did Mythic rating. We definitely did Mythic dungeons.
maybe that's what it was.
Ooh.
Yes. Yeah. Essentially, it's a little different because they have like a dungeon queue.
Mhm.
And that's usually, I don't think you can modify the levels on those, right? You actually have to go to the dungeon location to access the mythic version, right?
Right. Exactly. Yes.
So, but it is super, super fun. Let's see if I got anything else here.
Well, I definitely do. I want to talk more about Valhalla. Ubisoft actually sent you a copy of the game before release. Like that just sounds like the dream. Let me just put that
It
out.
is a
Just
dream. I would love for developers to send me copies of games to review and do early access.
like, let me tell you, if you do catch any of the old episodes, the amount of love I put into Beyond Good and Evil 2 on this podcast, I feel like I promote it more than any other platform at the moment.
He promotes it more than Ubisoft does.
Oh goodness.
So that would just I don't know what I would do. So can you just give us like what was your mindset when you got the email or letter saying, hey, we want you to get a copy of this game?
Honestly, when I got it, I thought it was fake. I didn't think it was real. So Backtrack a couple weeks. I received a PR letter from Ubisoft's team, and they had mentioned wanting to see if I had interest in any of the following release titles. They listed out multiple release titles, and the minute I saw Assassin's Creed Valhalla, my heart was set on it.
Wow.
I immediately replied enthusiastically. I said I would love to play this game. I didn't know if it was going to be allowed to be streamed, but I let them know I would love to stream it if that's possible on early access. And 2 weeks later, I got the PR packet. I got the information. I got my dates that were allowed for streaming and the times. And I thought to myself, oh my God, this is actually happening. I'm actually getting a
Wow.
code. This is real. I couldn't believe it. So fast forward to the day of the early access release. I was ready to go. I had everything downloaded. I fully read over my packet like 3 times to make sure I knew what storyline was allowed to be shown, what was considered too major of a spoiler to avoid. And I went a Viking. It was great. I
Wow.
loaded the game up. I immediately felt immersed in the game. The graphics were beautiful. And fun fact, the PC version actually came with an internal check or benchmark. So if you weren't sure about the settings or how well it was going to run on your PC, you could run the benchmark ahead of time to make sure that you didn't lag during gameplay and really had all of your settings nice and crisp. And I made sure to turn on the blood and dismemberment because that is the best part of an
That
Assassin's
is
Creed game.
that is the best. Actually, I had a similar process with Red Dead Redemption 2 when that came out for PC. Like that internal benchmark just made for such an amazing experience.
That's amazing. Yeah. It was actually so. This is my very first Assassin's Creed. I had never played previous titles. My brothers were into it. They loved it. I had been interested before, but I was more so a handheld user for my games. Well before I actually settled on getting, my PC for gaming and doing, getting my very first Xbox 360. I was not a console player for the longest time. So when I saw the trailer, I really wanted to play it. I was like, okay, this is going to be my first one. And then I got the email and I said, oh my God, this is going to be my first one.
That's
um,
amazing.
and so I had no idea of what I was getting myself into. So I started, and then there's all of a sudden like stuff that's all tech. And I'm like, this isn't Viking era. What is all of this? And so I'm getting ripped through 2 different storylines, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, my mind is blown. It was one of those moments where it's like, yes, I'm already on my longboat and I'm ready to go raid and pillage and get all these supplies and start my own, settlement. And then all of a sudden, oh wow, they're talking about COVID and asking if I'm quarantining. I'm like, wait a second, I didn't sign up for additional, another life, here on PC as well as out here. I'm not here for this content. But it was such a wonderful experience because I got to experience that portion of the story and the lore for the first time without knowing anything whatsoever. So it was like this huge shock to go from one portion of the game to the other. But all in all, it is my new favorite game. I am playing a lot of it off stream, just like after stream, like for an hour, going and pillaging stuff and trying to get all the different items and loot pieces that I can. But yes, it's definitely one of my top favorite games right now.
So that is fantastic because I had that literal exact same moment when I played the first Assassin's Creed. So I'm really glad that you got that. My personal, I guess, segment of the series would be Assassin's Creed 1 through 3, which actually incorporates 5 games because the second game spawned 2 sequels. Within that same timeline, if you will. I would highly recommend. I think that's personally when the story was at its peak. And then you have 4, Unity, Origins, Odyssey, and then now Valhalla. With they have their own side games as well, but I prefer just the main line in the series. But yes, that surprise, if you will, on how they incorporated current times with the past. It is probably what made Assassin's Creed as good as it did.
Oh, I love it. It's brilliant, to be completely honest. And I'm still kind of reeling and not sure exactly what I saw or exactly what is going to happen, because this was the first time I had seen that surprise. It was the first time I was really getting immersed into the secondary storyline. And now I'm just like, well, which part is the real story now? So there's just such a twist and turn, that I'm sure plenty of Assassin's Creed, longtime players, you already know what's going on. But for somebody fresh to the entire series, I found it extremely refreshing, and I loved being ripped from one world and into another, because there's nothing like keeping somebody constantly on their toes that really puts the thrill into a game.
I 100% agree. I definitely feel that the Assassin's Creed team that Ubisoft has the formula down for that balance between the moments where you're playing the game, like fighting in sequences and trying to get from point A to point B, to also feel like the story is progressing with cutscenes and interactions with NPCs. Like there's, you don't feel like you're wasting your time with majority of the Assassin's Creed games, and that's just something that I've always loved about them. And
Yes.
those gotcha moments where it's just like, oh, you thought this is what you were watching? Nope. Complete
Yes!
180.
Biggest gotcha moment for me was in 3. I'm not going to spoil it, but 3 made my jaw drop. Like, literally, how do you like them apples? That's how hard 3 attacked me.
Just so I know, you're talking about the oath when they were given that?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, that was one of the biggest ones in the Assassin's Creed series overall, where you're like, it's just your jaw just drops to the floor. You're like, wait, what?
Yeah. I would highly recommend. It is a little difficult because you are talking about a game. While it was good for its time, the first Assassin's Creed was a little clunky with movement.
Oh yeah.
But you do. I think it's absolutely worth it. At least, watching a Let's Play with someone just so you can really grasp the story. Because in my opinion, you'll notice as you play further into your game, there is going to be even a third. We'll call it like a third, I guess, storyline, if you will, that you'll notice in there. Yeah. So there's another level that they're going to take you to, right?
They're
So it was
inceptioning me.
a little bit, yeah. So just keep us in mind when you get there. Now, I feel like the first 5 games, Assassin's Creed 1 through 3, did it the best, and that portion wasn't as heavy in the latter games, but it's still in there. So I'm actually really excited. I personally will not be purchasing Valhalla. I won't play it just because I'm not a fan of the current formula. I played Origins and I started Odyssey. They're just not for me. So I kind of hope Ubisoft takes that formula a different way. But it is beautiful. And who did you go? Which Eivor did you choose, the male or the female?
I chose female.
Which is, I get it. One of the, and I hope this doesn't, deter you in any way, but in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, you get to choose the same thing, male or female. It kind of affects it a little, who you play as throughout the game. The voice acting I felt was more prominent with Cassandra, and now there are a lot of I guess articles and opinions out there that in this game, it seems like it was more suited for the male Eivor. So just something to keep in mind. Again, I don't want that to deter you. Have your fun. I mean, if you don't experience the male, you won't have that issue. And now I believe you can switch at any point, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I think so. I haven't necessarily gone to a portion where I would be able to swap if that was possible. But yeah, personally, I went with a female version of Ivor because for me, I love the fact that, with that culture, women were so respected. And so for me, it was one of those things where it's like, yes, you could be a strong man, you could be a strong woman, you're respected equally. And I loved that about the culture.
Yeah, Vikings are pretty awesome. I'm really
Pretty
excited for that.
badass.
Did you? I mean, so when we take a look here, I know we are kind of creeping up on time. Is there? Do you have any big projects coming up that you want to kind of talk about here?
Unfortunately, the larger projects that I have going on right now are currently under NDA. I would not be able to
No,
share. Yes, I'm
that's
so
no, that's fine. I
sorry.
mean, we understand. We understand the NDAs. What about? Okay, well, why don't we take it this way then? You are now a Twitch partner. Um,
Yes.
are you planning to make any modifications to your channel from there? I mean, what does that mean for you for Tasty Peach Studios?
Um, Honestly, a partnership was just an additional step towards my goals. It's I know for a lot of streamers, it's kind of the end game. It is the ultimate achievement, but for me, it was just another stepping stone in what I am planning to do for the future. I have had ideas of putting together a team of other streamers and artists and creators that would like to, come together, be community oriented, help uplift other artists within the art community, and really start helping teach. I want to give others the same kind of opportunities because nobody tells you how to content create. Nobody teaches you how to, do your books and figure out what you need if you're going to create product or, even what tax forms look like if you're going to turn into an LLC. So I want to utilize my partnership as an elevated platform to help people reach that level too. Because at the end of the day, there are so many artists, so many creators, and so many individuals that want to consume that art that there's no reason anybody should feel that it's a competition. We as a community are artists together. Art is an expression of love. Art is something that one person can love, one person can hate, and that's okay. So I want to kind of help uh, guide more voices of individuals that want to see more community together and really just kind of let people know that you don't have to be extremely talented to work for yourself. You don't have to be the best artist to create your own merchandise. You just have to be passionate about what you want to do and take the right steps to get there.
Oh, that's pretty fantastic. That was well said. I think that's our clip right there. Um, so well, it's funny you mentioned that because with my grandmother, she makes this marinade, to cook with, and
Mhm.
I was actually thinking about manufacturing that and selling it myself. So um, very very interesting that you kind of mentioned it the way you did because I think that was a good boost for me to really nail down the recipe myself, and just kind of move forward with that. So thank you.
Oh, no problem. And manufacturing can be a scary process. I always tell people that if you have questions, if you need to talk to somebody, my DMs are always open for a reason. I always have time. It just might take me a little bit of time to get back to you. So if you have any questions, please, you are always welcome to reach out and chit chat with me.
Oh, thank you so much. All right, well, Tortuga, do you have anything for Riss? Anything else you got over there?
No, wrist covered everything beautifully. Just to add, well, like you said, all of that is true. The real world can be daunting when you try to take a hobby and try to make a living on it. Especially like you said, switching it over to LLC because that's eventually the next step for us, right? To make this into a little small company,
Right.
and LLCs are handled differently by your state. No state operates the same way. So there's just a lot to go into. Same goes with the taxes, with the businesses. There is a lot, and it's kind of funny that you mentioned that. That's also kind of like a door that we're trying to open within our community for people, to come in and feel comfortable, to have just a community of gamers, of open-minded gamers, where you don't feel as restricted as you might. I know, like for me personally, all my friends were, let's say, they were on Xbox and PlayStations for years, and it literally isn't until the last like 3 years, 2-3 years, where all my friends started switching over to PC.
Mhm.
It would have been nice when I got into PC, which is almost 10 years ago, if I had more friends to play on. I feel like I didn't get to enjoy the machinery that I put together as much, and having a community where you could just jump in and just have a sea of gamers to talk to for questions on gaming, what to play, how to build, even with personal stuff, because not everyone has that community, that local community that can help support people to get through things. So it's amazing to hear that you're trying to do the same thing in the art side of things. So I appreciated that.
Oh, thank you very much.
And please, I know you're probably going to be busy, but please reach out to us if you need anything that we can potentially assist with. As you build your community, we build ours. Just people helping people is really what it's all about.
Absolutely.
One of my favorite movies is actually called The Whackness, starring Josh Peck and Ben Kingsley. And one of the lines in there is actually, there are enough assholes in the world. There's no need to be another one. So
beautiful words.
Out of curiosity, how long is that movie?
I will have to double check. 1 second.
While he does that, the little inside joke here is every movie that Pixel has ever quote unquote loved has been so long that it's impossible to sit through in one sitting.
It's an hour and 40 minutes.
Wow. That is your shortest watched, loved movie.
Why are you attacking me like this? I thought we loved each other. What is wrong with you?
Oh, goodness.
Oh, man.
I don't know. I kind of am on the fence with that one, because personally for me, you're talking to somebody that could sit and binge watch hour-long episodes multiple times in a day. So I can sit still for a while. Oh.
Is it though? Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. An hour-long episode? I don't know. An hour-long episode? I guess. Kind
but
of.
To sit through the whole movie, like The Watchmen, Inglourious Bastards,
I could sit through
The Irishman. The Irishman was really long. Wow, that movie was long. That was long for me, bro.
And now's your favorite movie of all time.
I know. Anyway, I was gonna go somewhere with this. You distracted me. You beautiful, beautiful man. Yeah, no, I got nothing.
All I have is just my normal the new stuff that we need to cover, but Riz wise, she covered everything I had to a T.
Okay, awesome. Now, Riz, we're probably just going to try to cut through here and go through our kind of normal stuff here. Now, you are more than welcome to stay. We're just going to talk about gaming news, or if you need to drop off and go about your business, that is also absolutely fine.
I will go ahead and mute myself, and I'll just sit and listen.
Okay.
I'm just assuming, do I just hit the microphone mute?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Okay.
You click on that, and then.
Awesome. I'll just listen.
Awesome.
Alrighty.
All right, Christina's going to murder
me. We'll loop back in towards the end. Oh, well. She shouldn't have married such a prominent man.
Here we go.
All right. So let's see. All the stuff that I got, because holy moly, what a week. Needless to say, this is the week where next gen is now current gen, as Books likes to say. We no longer have a next gen to look forward to. We are there. From what I've seen, both platforms have, been doing beautifully with the games that are out there. Like the Spider-Man game, holy crap. It's just, and I'm not even a PlayStation fan, but let me tell you, that game has been beautiful. And I'm watching it off through a stream on 1080p. I can only imagine what's actually being watched on the screen itself,
Seriously, especially with the capabilities that they have with like these better HDMIs, really taking advantage of these 4K TVs or these higher end monitors.
Oh man, but you can't have the good without the bad, and PlayStation at the moment is having a few issues. So if you're not aware, apparently if you're playing Spider-Man Remastered and putting the PlayStation 5 into rest mode, it completely crashes the PlayStation 5 and just bricks it. Sony is looking into it, and I believe that they're pushing out a patch if it's not already out there. But they immediately jumped on it, and there was a notice put on the Sony website. So if that's something that you own and something that you do, just please be wary.
Yeah, that's insane for literally day of, we have this here. I can't believe that's even a thing. Just some standard rest mode potentially breaking the entire brand spanking new console.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that it happened to so many people, but I mean, because you don't know going in, you just let it go into rest mode after you start up a game, and it's nuts. What a similar story that came up was for Xbox Series X. Smoking. There's videos of it smoking when being plugged in. Turned out to be a hoax or a prank of some kind, where people were blowing vape smoke into the Xbox and not actually smoking due to like overheating or anything.
I still can't believe the Xbox has to put out an official statement to not blow vape smoke into your Xbox. I can't believe that was actually a thing.
Yeah, but it happened. So if you did see that the Xbox was smoking, and that turned out to be false, so I'm just gonna throw my jab in here. Looks like Xbox built the better console. So, but no, the PlayStation outside of this, I wouldn't call it a small hiccup, but outside of this current system issue that it's having, it's actually pretty damn good.
Yeah, no, both of them, they both have their strength right now with the software, and we've talked about the software within, Sony going back to the PlayStation 3. For some reason, their platform just does this. They've had issues time and time again. Going back to the major hack back in, what was that, 2011? So
Yeah, a while back.
yeah, so I don't know if it's their just their base. I want to say it's a Linux based operating system.
Unix, yeah.
Unix, yeah. So I don't know. Just buy it from Microsoft. Just buy something from them and call it a day. Only big thing that I have, which is more exciting than anything, is two things. I got one from a tech side and then one from just getting giddy side. Apparently there's these SSDs. There's an SSD that has its own processor, and apparently it can offload work similarly to what a GPU does, right? So it can accelerate the database management of it.
Yeah.
And basically, these smart SSDs could put about 12 terabytes of data onto a 4 terabyte drive.
Interesting. I mean, SSDs have always had a chip module on there to process data anyways. So it's kind of cool that they expanded on it. All it used to be able to do was move things from point A to point B. And that's honestly how your hard drive knows where things are and how it pulls it and communicates with the computer. It has like its own little brain, so to speak. So that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah. So, and there was also a Halo TV series that's apparently been kind of in the works there. But it
die.
Why?
Halo's been so overused, man. Let it die. Let the second trilogy be the final thing that it produces.
Well,
let the next generation take over. No, seriously.
So I get it. But I wouldn't mind a Halo TV show, a little sci-fi. I think we need more sci-fi in our lives. But there's some scheduling conflicts with who they had casted as Cortana. So they were actually able to get the original voice actor, which I don't know why that wasn't a thing from the beginning.
Wow, licensing gets weird, bro.
Yeah, I guess. And that Grounded game got this like Koi Pond update, which is pretty cool. And Phil Spencer says there was a rumor going around that they were shopping around for Japanese studios. But Phil Spencer, kind of confirmed that, right now it's not something that they're really, focusing on, trying to like quell those rumors, especially after that Bethesda acquisition. I doubt they're looking to purchase anything additional.
Yeah, right. You know what it really is? That's how they're going to weasel their way into Sony, bro, and get the Game Pass on the PlayStation.
Probably.
I'm telling you,
they're working on it. Yeah, now they got to be working on something. I'm surprised it hasn't been launched on the like Switch yet. Maybe because they're still focused on xCloud at the moment, because that's coming out in Australia soon.
I mean, I think they're working their way there because a lot of Xbox games are available on the Switch. Eventually, maybe they're waiting for a demand to pop up on Nintendo's side, like the consumers, like, hey, we want all this other stuff, and Xbox like, hey, we can provide that through the cloud service. That is going to be super easy to use because it's all cloud. So that's my prediction, and it would be amazing to see Microsoft kind of have a foot in everything.
Right.
That would probably be the dream for them.
And just one more thing in that same interview, apparently Phil Spencer has actually played, what they have available of the Elden Ring game, and he said that it looks really, really good.
Good. That's good. That's another game I'm excited for. Nice. So a very strange story popped up over the past few days where there were hostage reports in the Ubisoft building in Montreal. And apparently, cops went out there, did their investigation, and found nothing. Turned out to be a hoax. But for the past few days, there have been, people worried that there were people held hostage.
Wow! So that was all a hoax.
Yeah, apparently it was all a hoax. Super, super strange that was the outcome for that, because it lasted a few days. That it kind of, I don't know. Maybe it's a sweep under the rug story, getting some conspiracy vibes going.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. These people are always up to something. But what'd you say in the group chat? People probably surrounded the building asking for Cyberpunk. There was some footage of Resident Evil Village, which is also known as Resident Evil 8, and apparently it is very reminiscent of Resident Evil 4, which is a big favorite within the franchise.
Yeah, that was definitely intentional. And I'm pretty sure that's what books kind of wanted to happen. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. Resident Evil really hasn't been for me. Like, I played like 1, 2, and 3 and like the PS1, and they were right, but I don't know. Horror just has never really been my thing. So that's probably why I'm just not turned off to it. Like I've mentioned time and time and again, even as far as like Final Fantasy, I still think 15 is like probably one of the best stories, even over 7, to be honest. But maybe it's just I just feel closer to the actual camaraderie and brotherhood that that Final Fantasy 15 tries to portray.
That's fair. 15 was amazing. I actually enjoyed 13 more than 15,
which is fine. You're wrong and I hate you, but whatever.
13 was amazing, bro.
Nah, I never played. I'm just teasing you. No,
I have it. I have the physical disc if you ever want to play it.
No, I got it somewhere. Actually, I can't believe yesterday I was actually on the Xbox, which is something that hasn't happened in forever. But I was browsing the EA Play, which is now available.
I saw that.
Yeah, so I was actually contemplating of playing the first Mass Effect maybe there or on Steam. I don't know yet, whichever one's easier, because the PC one doesn't offer any controller support, and I don't think I want to play the mouse and keyboard.
Fair. Yeah, definitely. I mean, Mass Effect is definitely a couch game anyways. It's one of those games where you just want to sit back and relax and enjoy the story.
There was also some kind of rumors going around that potentially the 3060 from NVIDIA will have more RAM than the 3080. And it's kind of really throwing people for a loop. Just because there's nothing's been confirmed so far for the 3060.
Maybe they mean the 60 series never get TI cards, so never mind. I don't know what they're doing
exactly. So we'll see what happens with that. And
or maybe they will now because the 90 is a thing. So maybe they will make 60 TIs, 70 TIs, and 80 TIs.
Maybe. I mean, because the 90 is supposed to be like the equivalent of their Titan card. So we'll see what they got.
Yeah, and only a few more weeks before Linus Tech Tips puts out the one-on-one fight between those two GPU cards. Excited for that. So Deathloop, remember Deathloop that was announced a few months back?
That was which one was Deathloop? That was the one with the chick, right?
No,
that's the combat one. The combat one. Yeah, I kind of remember it. Yep.
Yeah, where you run through, you try to kill certain people, and then if you die, you start over in front of the island. Yeah. So an release date for that is now May 21st, 2021. So that one looks like a really cool concept. I'm excited to get my hands on that one. So official release date, check it out. And they actually put out another trailer for it, so definitely check that out.
All right,
Cyberpunk.
Mm-hmm. Huh? Oh, Cyberpunk. Here we go. The person who was most hyped for the game is now feeling
good. But, Cyberpunk put out an announcement. One, they're going to have a new Night City Wire in a comedic fashion on the day that the release date was supposed to happen. So good on CD Projekt Red for that, because that is hysterical.
Not at all.
But the other thing that they put out, Cyberpunk characters will be able to have customized teeth. That's a thing.
Which people are crying about because it's a first-person game.
So everything that you customize is moot as soon as you start the game.
Yeah. I mean, but, you've mentioned before, people put all this customization to put on a helmet. So
facts. But it's to build that, what's the word? That intimacy with that character. You just have that connection because you put in so much effort, so much work into it. So I get it. I definitely get it. Yeah. Twitch has been a bit out of control, and they banned yet another top name streamer. But this time, what? Yeah, this time they at least gave him a reason, as opposed to Dr. Disrespect, who still says that no update as to why. But Cowsep, a huge League of Legends streamer, was banned recently because, according to Twitch, he violated the DMCA rules that they have. And, Cowsep did tweet out saying that he doesn't understand why he was banned because he deleted all his VODs. However, Cowsep has already been streaming on Facebook anyways. And a lot of the community kind of feel that they may have done that due to the fact that he's streaming on another platform, even though he was a partner with Twitch. So a little, I don't know. I feel like it's been all over the place with Twitch. They have been trying to get a hold of this DMCA issue. I don't know if you got a chance to check out the notice that they send out to all the partners and affiliates, saying that Twitch is trying to get a better hold on what's happening with the DMCA and the requests that they're getting from all these music industries of songs that are playing on people's streams. And Twitch said that basically the best thing to do is get rid of your VODs that has copyrighted music and don't play copyright music while you're streaming. And they're trying to find a better fix for all of it.
Yeah, it's actually pretty funny. A lot of people have really taken to make fun of Twitch for that they're basically doing all the sound effects with their mouths while they're streaming.
But honestly, it's not Twitch's fault in that sense, right? They're reacting to all these lawsuits and requests that are coming to their doorstep, and they're being, it's being demanded of them to take action. So it's not really that they're just trying to make lives difficult for people. It's them reacting to what's currently happening. And at the moment, there's no real way to control how people play music on their streams. So they're just, I guess, trying to be more vocal of that this is out there and to be more careful about it.
Yeah, but it's not even just the songs that they're playing. It's in-game stuff too.
Right. It's true. It's true. So, and that's why, developers like CD Projekt Red are going the extra mile and making sure that they own all the rights to everything, and also having the open content, open creation, whatever the licensing thing that they have, where anyone can use it and you're free to stream it. Like, it's within the terms of agreement of owning the game that if you stream it, they're not going to go after you for it. So it kind of sucks that that's kind of the additional steps that we have to take. And that might be the way that, we slow things down. But at the same time, when I stream, I love playing music on Spotify and just letting that thing roll and just playing some good music. I tried playing the DMCA playlists that are out there, and nothing has really kind of caught my ear. But it kind of sucks, and it's just something that we have to just be more careful about.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's all we can really do right now.
True. Next up, Elite Dangerous will be free via Epic on from November 19th to November 26th. So if you haven't already played the very awesome space simulator, now's your chance. They're doing this to kind of get ready for the expansion that's coming out in 2021, early 2021, I think in January actually, where you can actually have planet exploration. And so this is kind of their way to get people to kind of get their feet wet with Elite Dangerous if you haven't already. And I actually started playing Elite Dangerous again, kind of exploring and navigating, and it's just such a good game. It's so good.
Oh yeah, real quick, since we were on Assassin's Creed Valhalla, apparently in the Norwegian region, there was like an error in the pricing that was giving people over there like a massive discount in the Ultimate Edition, like $80-$90 or something.
Wow.
Yeah, and people were like saying, "Oh, well, they inspired the game; they should get a discount."
That's fair, to be honest. Perfect segue into discounts. Amazon has announced that the PlayStation 4 for Black Friday will be priced at $299 for the slim 1TB version, and the PlayStation 4 Pro 1TB will be $369. So a nice little chunk off the price tag with the new console coming out. So if that was something you were waiting for to happen, it's currently going on with Amazon. So check it out. We're still not sponsored by them, by the way.
We're working on it. We promise.
But that's all I have, bro. Literally everything for this week. Quiet week. The most exciting news is that the consoles came out. So
yeah, that was it. There was actually another class action lawsuit claims that EA's dynamic difficulty tech encourages that loot box spending. So it's like just more loot box news there for EA. Where people are, claiming predatory practices and addiction to gambling, but still no update if they're going to remove it or over there in the Netherlands. And remember that $500 million fine weekly is still in effect.
Wow, insane. Riz, you still hanging out? You still back there?
Oh yeah, I'm here.
Sweet. Well, that basically ends it for me and Pixel on this episode. I just wanted to thank you one more again for hanging out with us this week and sharing your story with us.
Of course, it was an absolute pleasure. You two are wonderful.
No, thank you. The pleasure was ours. When you are able to kind of get out of those little pesky NDAs, if you do ever want to just jump back on, please feel free to reach out to us, and more than happy to lend our mics to you as well.
Absolutely. I would love to do another session with you guys.
Beautiful. Thank you, Riz. And thank you, all of you, for listening, hanging out with us for yet another week. Definitely check our description below for all our links. We'll definitely be sharing everything we have of Riz, so you can check out all her cool stuff. And trust us, she's not paying us to say this. Her stuff is really, really awesome. Definitely check it out. Give her a follow, give us a follow, and definitely remember to share this podcast with another gamer if you enjoyed this episode. Enjoy your week, night, day, evening, and remember, gamers lead the way.